Hi, this is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. Posthumous albums. There's no denying that the release of a record following the death of a well-known music star can add a certain depth and poignancy that might not otherwise be experienced by the listener. There's an ongoing debate as to whether posthumous releases are A, justified, or B, simply cash grabbing. How would you feel if, once you'd passed, someone trawled through your computer and finished off your half-baked emails or journals or creative ramblings and then go on to unleash them upon the world for cash? Well, that's just one side of the argument, though it has to be said the concept of the posthumous release has unearthed many a diamond of music genius's work, which are of genuine historical interest and may add to a rocker's legacy. Take Jimi Hendrix, for example. Taken from us all too soon at the tender age of 27 back in 1970. At the time of his death, there were a large number of recordings that were at various stages of completion, and his posthumous discography includes 12 studio albums, 23 live albums and 23 compilation albums. Take Live at Fillmore East, a 2-disc collection drawing on 4 mammoth sets played out with a band of gypsies at New York's Fillmore East in December '69, showcasing Hendrix not only on stage but on fire. A relatively short-lived power trio consisting of Billy Cox and Buddy Miles and Hendrix himself, they constructed a new sound infused with more jazz and fusion, and this would be best described as the most brilliant emotional display of virtuoso electric guitar playing I've ever seen, by legendary promoter Bill Graham in the Hendrix bio, Kiss the Sky. Joey Ramone. Some might say his posthumous debut solo album, Don't Worry About Me, was far from perfect. However, it did manage to convey his ever-present Don't Worry Be Happy air that he carried during his living years. Real name Jeffrey Hyman, Joey Ramone's death came as quite a shock to rockers all over the world, having spoken to the souls of millions lyrically and musically throughout the years. Don't Worry About Me was, ironically, Joey's first venture into solo writing and recording, and as so often happens, certain lyrics can be picked up as a sort of goodbye message, with tracks like Stop Thinking About It, giving hint that he would soon be leaving this world and that everything is really alright. Though sometimes described as a bipolar album, it remains to this day a body of work that Joey Ramone fans should not have to go without. Coda by Led Zeppelin is another that was released in 1982, 2 years after the disbandment of the group, but also 2 years following the death of drummer John Bonham, and frequently appears in best posthumous albums of all times lists. The word coda means a passage that ends a musical piece, and it consisted of unused tracks from sessions spanning their 12-year career. Johnny Cash is another artist who continues to live on musically beyond his time. To date, 4 critically acclaimed albums have been released since his death, with his son suggesting in an interview with The Guardian that there are another 4, maybe 5 albums still to come. Some have accused Sony of milking the cash cow, but the love of Johnny Cash fans speaks volumes in the way of sales, so who can really complain? We can't talk about the magic of a posthumous release without touching on Nirvana's MTV Unplugged in New York, featuring a blistering acoustic show by the band recorded at Sony Studios in '93. It debuted straight in at #1 in the Billboard 200 and went on to be certified platinum ×5 by '97, so rare for a show that featured so many lesser-known compositions, including tracks from David Bowie, Leadbelly and the Vaselines. There are so many pieces of music that have been released posthumously that we don't have time to touch on today. But there's no denying that the idea of fresh material emerging from an artist who has passed on can keep them closer to our hearts, our ears, and make their musical star shine ever brighter among the great rock and rollers in the sky. This is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. You can shop for the greatest selection of music gear on earth in store or at guitarcentre.com.